thanks to the first to market challenge, I'm able to better process the first to market data so I can focus on who is not being contacted. I no longer stress about what marketing channel I should be using since first to market challenge. I have more clarity with my lead gen and where I should be spending my marketing dollars. And then below, I see that it looks like you are mostly doing your first to market and deep prospecting around vacant. So,
Mhm.
Mr. Gerald, if you may, just give me some insight on what this first to market challenge was for you as an individual and how you've taken what we've learned and started implementing, because I know your lead flow has definitely increased, and I
Mhm.
just love to hear how it was from your point of view.
Okay. Yeah, so prior to the first to market challenge, I was doing the whole bulk, throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks method.
Okay.
And with that, the market spend was inconsistent
Okay.
only because I, for one, wasn't tracking KPIs properly.
Hmm.
And two, it was more so about where's the next deal coming from and what data can I pull in order to get in front of that one seller, right? So since first to market, I've been able to, so
You're okay.
since first to market, I've been able to choose the niche vexation that I want to target and
Hmm.
just focus on that, which we do probates and pre-foreclosure in our counties.
Okay.
Process those records, and I make sure that we understand how we get that, who is getting it, and how it's being processed. So we built SOPs around that, which
Okay.
first to market had allowed me to learn.
Sure.
And it's just kind of from point A to point Z is data in, market the data, sorry, clean the data,
Hmm.
prepare the data, market the data, execute the marketing, and then update the CRM. So on top of the first to market, I love that REI Sift had become our central hub for all our data. And going back to the data to dollars challenge, I
Yeah.
love how it ties into first to market because I do see REI Sift as my main data management for the foundation of my business. First and
Sure.
foremost, every time I talk to a beginner, I
Hmm.
always let them know, hey, I know it's a tedious kind of a tedious task to really focus on the data,
Hmm.
but I reassure you that that's probably few of the first things that you should be focused on.
Sure.
Yeah, first to market just allowed me to process these records from point A to Z.
Awesome. Awesome. And so tell me, you said you're going to probate and what was it?
Pre-foreclosure.
Okay, cool. And then how often are you able in your county or your market, are you able to get that data? Is it a daily, weekly? What does that look like for you?
It's daily.
Okay.
We were able to get at least 5 to 10 records a day.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do implement direct mail as
Hmm.
well. So in the beginning, we were focused on more than the two vexation. We also have code violations, inheritance lists,
Okay.
and evictions.
Okay.
But because we kind of foreseen some of the direct mail marketing campaign to be expensive as we're kind of
Right.
getting into the like second, third, fourth rehash, and we could
Hmm.
talk a little bit about that later. Um, I can see it kind of piling up. So we just wanted to really focus on the marketing dollars
Hmm.
on bait and pre-foreclosure.
So you were noticing for you in your business that your direct mail spend was kind of high, maybe, and now you're able to kind of tick it down with a little more
Yeah, and that's
niche
kind of the
approach.
beauty of it, right? That's the beauty of it. It's like I have complete control of the marketing campaign. So like the whole saying, from chaos to clarity, like I have so much clarity as to
Right.
like, okay, I could pull that campaign, we can start this campaign, we can kind of turn it down a little bit, or we can ramp it up, kind of
Mhm.
that sort of say.
Got you. And what market are you in?
We're in NorCal, so San Joaquin, Stanislaus. We're also in Solano, Contra Costa, Sacramento, so on and so forth. some of the counties up there too, but we understand some of the portals in those counties are hard to get that first to market data. So if we can't get it, we usually don't pull it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now the daily data you get, you said you're getting between 5 and 10 records. The
As
second
far
it
as
comes
deep
in,
prospecting goes. Oh, sorry, yeah.
oh, okay. Yep, yep.
Mm,
Yeah, correct me if I go anywhere wrong with it. So you're getting 5 to 10 records a day for first to market, and that's probate. And I keep forgetting what the other one is. You've already asked you twice.
yeah, pre-foreclosure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
And we actually just did a video about that because are you sending direct mail to your foreclosures?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some
Mhm.
people say that it's slow, right? They're like, you only have so much time before it goes through or whatever. And we actually just made a video kind of debunking this. So when do you direct mail your pre-foreclosures?
So I direct mail them before we even start the Sensei flow.
Yeah.
We send it out and then we start the Sensei flow. If we verify phone numbers, that's great. We're still going to rehash those records until that 6 month mark.
Mhm.
And then when they become uncontacted and through the rehash, we try to verify phone number, like the bulk dialing. So either through so if it's already been verified or uncontacted or exhausted, we continue to send direct mail to all those records. Only because, and I love the Jordan Peterson short
Oh yeah.
that you about constantly staying on top of them. I I back that up wholeheartedly because I've gotten um direct mail sent to records that even as leads, I still try to send them mail just to let them know, like, hey, we're really active here. We're real people and we are actively buying.
Got you. Yeah. Okay, that's good. And you send it immediately. And maybe to some viewers that are in the SIF community watching this, maybe they're thinking, well, I thought you direct mail people that you've already exhausted. Well, this is your niche data. So you want these people. These are the people like if you were to get 3 deals, hopefully all of them are in this niche because that's the one that you're trying to master. Is that correct
Mhm.
in saying that? So you send the direct mail and then you're immediately call, text, voicemailing these people, or how does that
Correct. Yeah.
look? Yep. And are you using smartphone, call tools, smart contact? How are you doing that?
We use smartphone right now
Smartphone.
for the niche sequential prospecting.
Okay.
Yeah, we send direct mail, we send safe flow, we exhaust the records,
Hmm.
and then it's always like, okay, where do these records go to next, right?
Hmm.
So what's the next phase after the sensei flow?
Yep. And for you, is that I'm assuming that's deep prospecting, right? If you haven't gotten
Um,
contact with
we
them.
send them out to the dialer, right? For the
Copy.
rehash, yeah, quarter, monthly, and then for the deep prospecting, like I don't deep prospect all the exhausted records.
Hmm.
Um, I focus my time on the deep prospective records that show on my filter presets, which are exhausted
Okay.
vacant mail, return mail,
Okay.
skip twice, no numbers, so on
Sure.
and so forth. There it
Cool.
is.
And then I'm on the free Zoom. So at some point I don't know if we're going how long we've been going, but if we start drawing in on like a 40-minute time frame, I'll just kind of pause you for a second and then we'll
Okay.
gather our thoughts and then kind of pop out of there. So yep, if you've done the blur feature already, go ahead and do it.
Okay. I got it already.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool. All right, so we are in Gerald's account and we're going to do a real brief overview of what your first to market flow looks like. Just kind of from records, how you're filtering into your SIF line boards if you're using SIF line, your direct mail follow up, kind of stuff like that. Whatever the flow looks like for you, just kind of highlight it. That way we can show people the speed and effectiveness in the in the cleanliness of it.
Gotcha. Cool. So we use almost everything that our REISF has to offer: the SIP line, records, sequences, statuses, the task management, all that.
Awesome.
So first off, going to the records, I'm huge on the filter presets, so
Sure.
I try to do it as taught from the first and market challenge to the T.
Hmm.
If there's anything on here that you don't see that's to the T, then that's my bad. It's I try to keep up as best I can.
Oh, it's all right,
Um,
man.
so first to market pool, this is where we pretty much bring in all the data. So
Okay.
this is the preset that, and it shows probate. Oh, I guess it looks like we're only sending mail to probate, not
Sure.
pre-foreclosure.
Perfect.
Um, so we add the list and we make sure that every time we bring in data, we tag it first to market. And then I exclude all statuses, direct
Mhm.
mail, vacant mailing, no. So when we send out mail, it must be vacant mailing, no, otherwise it won't be able to send.
Got you.
After that, we go ahead and get it ready for um, the niche sequential. Same thing, we add in all the fixations that we're marketing to, first to market, exclude all statuses, 0 call attempts, 0 numbers, skip
Yep.
trace, no. Then we go ahead and get it ready for marketing. Now, this is pretty much, this is where we will go ahead and assign it to either I or one of my partners.
Okay. So at this point, it's been skip traced. You've collected numbers, and now you're ready to start calling. And it meets under the data set that you were trying to call. Got it.
Correct. Yeah. Um, so one of the things that I've noticed from data to dollars, or I think, yeah, data to dollars to the first to market.
Okay.
I believe Tyler was teaching the call 3 times
Yep.
after the first skip trace, re-skip it, and then
Yep.
call the next 3 times.
Yep.
Whereas with here, I think he simplified it to where it's just call 3 times, and then if your next phase is to skip trace it at a second location, great. We went and we used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But reaching out to the community one day, I asked a question about my KPIs, and Tyler had pointed out that my prospects and my dials were super off, or I think the dials to the correct phone number. And
Sure.
so what he pointed out was um, it seems like you're not skip tracing all your records first in the REI SIP, and he was totally correct with that because I've used batch leads and deal machine for
Sure.
first skip tracing in the beginning. Do you still hear me? I just said that
Yeah.
my
That actually the audio just improved a little bit. It was already good, but now it's even better.
okay, great, great. Let me see here. Yeah, so we found that at least 90% of our correct phone numbers had come from REI Sift skipped.
Okay.
So we kind of just eliminated that second phase, the second
Sure.
skip location, not unless they pop up in my deep prospecting skip once, no numbers. And depending on which records are there,
Yeah.
see, there's 2 here and it's Tuesday. So for this one alone, we typically get upwards of like 2 to 3 a day.
Okay.
But it's super rare that like if we were to go and send them to a second skip location, that they all don't really they all don't come back as skip twice, no
Yeah.
numbers.
That makes
All right.
sense.
They all flow into the deep prospecting some at some
Right.
point.
So
Right.
regardless, at some point, if you're gonna have to do the extra research anyways. So I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. What I do love about that, it does create a very small pool of records for me to just focus on. Right. Okay. And here is just the attempts, right? So we would go on here,
Mm-hmm.
focus on these couple records,
Yep.
move them along, right? We bring up the call attempts so they automatically get sequenced into this preset.
Yep.
And I'm a bit of a control freak, man. So every time something seems off, I'm like, all right, let's go back to it. Let's look at our SOPs and see what we've done
Yep.
wrong.
I
Um,
like that you just said that because
mhm.
that's exactly what our strategy is trying to cater to is to those types of people. And it seems so to the person who is a control freak who isn't in our ecosystem, they see this and they're like, I don't this doesn't seem like something I should be doing, but I like how you just said that. This is perfect for the control freak, the one that wants to know everything that's going on. So, perfect.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I mean, I'm just real big on like building businesses. And with this has been the biggest piece of my business that I have most total control of. Like as far as our sales process, that's always changing. The marketing process is always changing. But with first to market, this seems like the strategy to always keep. I mean, there's always going to be some new things popping up, but the first to market free data coming from public records always seems to like be the best marketing channel, only because
Yeah.
like for one, it's the marketing spend is very little, and like
Mhm.
you get to focus on those properties that nobody else is hitting.
Perfect.
Yeah. So from there, where are we at?
Yep, you're on that.
It
You're
gets
on your
into the,
rehash.
yeah, it gets into the rehash. First to market at all vexations that that we had marketed to for at
Hmm.
least 3 times. They get into a pool where every month I'll just go ahead and call them on the dialer.
Okay.
And then the first to market mail rehash, only the probate. Um, we have specific filter sets on these, like any of them that already have an offer, like we try not to mail them. Any of them that are property status not interested or
Hmm.
sold, we don't mail them. I mean, these are the presets that we're taught in the first to market. So the vacant mailing is no.
Yep.
Okay. Um, so
And are
let's
you
say
mostly operating out of your presets and then your records page, or are you kind of do you go back and forth from this to SIF line?
back and forth,
Yep.
back and forth. So let's say we verify records. We verify records. Records that I like to call are the probate that have been verified on a monthly basis, just like Tyler.
Okay.
We we like using the task presets.
Gotcha.
Right. So
Yep.
now here's mine, right? Very, very specific.
Hmm.
Um, let's say that we verify a phone number through the first to market, it's a probate. Instead of just throwing them on the non-interested rehash on a quarterly basis, I like to follow up every 30 days.
Perfect.
So the first attempt would be 30 days from now. Second attempt is 1 day, 1 day. Fourth attempt is 5 days. So I have it kind of like a weird sequence. It really just depends on how the seller is or like how that conversation went. If they tell me to call back in 2 weeks because they are planning to sell, then I'll just put a follow-up task for 2 weeks. But this is kind of like a generalization of how I set things up. Because in the near future, I'd like to have somebody take on this role and
Hmm.
be able to like make these calls and follow this task management.
Yep.
Again, RAI Sift is perfect for that. For anybody that is bringing on and scaling a team,
Hmm.
everything on here, the sequences and the tasks, the SIF line board, it's all set up for like a business owner to do that.
Right.
Um, Now on the SIF line, here are my my boards. I keep it real simple.
Okay.
The one that I'm always in is the deep prospecting one. Now, how I flow through these records is again on the records, I just choose which one I want to deep prospect. So a sequence that I have set up in REI Sift is I change the status to deep prospect, and then they automatically flood into the deep prospecting board.
Hmm.
Okay. And whichever ones that we need to second skip trace, once they've been second skip traced, they get back into the marketing flow. But
Yep.
if they don't have a second skip trace, no, or if they don't have phone numbers after the second location, then they populate the second board right here. And engage one is when we actually get in contact with somebody. Engage two is the second, third attempt, not interested. And I do need to add a ghosting board on there.
Yeah. Definitely.
Mhm. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Um, let's see here.
And I'm
I
assuming Joe and Darren are just some callers of yours or
Yeah,
teammates.
yeah. So yeah, they just help me carry carry on the load. I kind of I let them build out their SIF line. Um, so we have VAs that are calling on the bulk dialer as well. And so
Hmm.
we're getting upwards of like 20 to 25 records a week. And we all know that a lot of them just aren't really qualified or just aren't ready to sell or just kind of tire kicking.
Hmm.
So how I set this part up is it comes in here first as lead unqualified. And so this all populates and then we round robin the leads back to Joe and Darren,
Hmm.
Right. So Darren's super similar: call new lead, follow up, nurture, hot, ghost. And Joe also has his way of doing things. So I let them have a swing at the bat with these leads, and it's
Yeah.
really just a source, an extra, an extra source of revenue coming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of the times, these are just like wholesale deals.
Perfect.
Yep.
And that's right. You're primarily dealing with the flip side of things due to the contracting company. Awesome, dude.
Right. Yeah.
That was a quick down and dirty look at Gerald's full process of how he's marketing to foreclosures and pre-foreclosures and probates. You saw his first to market flow. You saw everything. And in the beginning, we read your sort of your testimonial about the first to market challenge. And I believe here on your post, we kind of dive a little bit into some other stuff. So you say, every morning I go into records and I pull up my deep prospecting folder to search for property owners who aren't being contacted. So far, I've been able to pull at least 3 to 5 records a week from these filter presets. And like you said, you're happy to share with anyone these filters, and you've gotten some good traction with deep prospects. We clearly see that. So I do want to ask you, I've seen you posted into the mastermind community a few times. How has the mastermind community been able to help you? I know you've asked some questions in the past about your KPIs. Just give me a quick example of how the mastermind community was able to help you, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah, man. Whenever I'm feeling stuck or I'm just uncertain of a few things, I kind of go on there and see what everybody else is doing. And there's some success stories that keep me going, man. And on the other side of that, some people that they, to their perception, they seem like they're probably not doing too well, or they're kind of questioning, I don't know if I should be using REI Sift,
Mhm.
right? I'll go and message them and, let them know like, hey man, it works. Just keep going. There's some true value there. I mean, there's folks in there that are making a lot of money, which I see that is super valuable. I mean, I could reach out to any one of them, and that's the whole thing about the community is they're so accessible. And when if they get hit up, and obviously approach them in the most professional way,
Mhm.
um they're willing to pour their hearts out to you, man. And I wish when I started it was kind of that way. I just didn't have that access to any community because I wasn't part of REI Shift yet, nor any other mentorships or communities I was in. I just knew a few people in my market, and with that, man, it was just enough for me to get by. But
Yeah,
with Facebook communities, I'm able to, kind of choose and pick my path to where, this looks like it's working well for him. I kind of want to dive into that more.
sure.
Or this looks like they're not really doing too well with that, or they might be spending so much money there, or he has a big robust operation. I don't really know if I'm up for that, right? So
Yeah,
you kind of get to see from afar and observe how other people are running their businesses. And that, I feel like that's where the true value is.
awesome. And then what's your take on joining these challenges that we offer, the Clarity and Chaos, the first to market? What would you say to someone out there that hasn't joined yet, or maybe hasn't thought about using RES Sift and maybe they should be taking a trial? What would you say to them?
Hey man, if you're in this for the long run and you see yourself actually making a killing in real estate, get REI Shift, get the business plan, join the challenges, hop onto the calls, and just network with people that are in the same path as you are. And the reason why they're still in REI Shift is because they wholeheartedly believe in it, man. So if this is something that you want to make a killing out of, figure it out. Figure it out, just like everything else in life. I mean, there's a lot of intricacies and it gets tedious, but I mean, that's part of being a business owner. You know what I mean? If you can't figure the small things out, what makes you think you can figure out the bigger things out in life?
And on that note, that's what REI Sift has mastered, the little things, not the big sexy things that are like a big chocolate candy bar. We mastered the fruits and the vegetables, man. Like implement these small little things. Gerald's a great example, and we wanted to pick him. He goes, man, I've been doing this first market stuff for a while now, and I'm really gaining traction, but I haven't got the deals out of it quite yet because I know it, but because I just started. And I said, that's perfect, man. We want you on a call because we know where you're headed. We know that you are doing the work, and that it's going to be an amazing success story here in the future that's going to be perfect for
Yeah.
content, perfect for testimonials when you're like, hey, man, I stuck with it. I have full clarity in my business, and now deals are just flooding in. So thank you so much for your time, man. This was perfect. I hope the viewers out there got some great value out of this. Keep an eye out for him. He's going to be, I think we're going to be doing some more interviews with him here in the near future. And yeah, man, thanks so much.
Absolutely.